Good morning, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. I am filming this on Valentine's Day, although it is gonna go up, I think, the weekend after. Today, we're gonna be doing a get ready with me. I wanted to kind of mix up some newer makeup, some of which I've shown on camera, some of which I have not. And I also wanted to bring in some favorites over the last year or two, because I think sometimes we get so caught up reviewing new makeup that we forget about some of our favorites. And especially lately, I feel like I've tried some newer makeup that I haven't liked. And you almost miss that feeling of, oh, this is so amazing. And sometimes going back to old favorites, you're like, oh, I remember why I love this so much. Gosh, this is so much better than what I just tried. We're gonna be doing, like I said, a nice fun get ready with me with a combination of some new and old. I've got some exciting stuff to share with you. I've been trying out this new Hourglass Vanish Primer. I'm excited to show you my thoughts on that. I had been talking about this L'Oreal True Match Nude, and I realized I had never actually tried it on camera. I love this foundation. It's a serum foundation. I've also been trying out the new Natasha Denona Mini Crush palette. This was a special edition release for Valentine's Day, and you know how much I love my Natasha Denona minis, so we're gonna be working with that. I also picked up a shade in the new NARS Lip Shine lip gloss. Really excited to share my thoughts on some of this new makeup, but also just do a fun get ready with me. So I'm gonna bring you in a little closer and we'll get started. All right, let's get started with primer. Again, we're gonna be using this Hourglass Vanish Primer. Now, the Mineral Veil Primer is my favorite primer of all time. It is my holy grail. So when I saw that Hourglass was putting out a new primer, I was like, yes, I will buy that. And this primer is a blurring primer. It's supposed to blur pores, which it does do. I've been trying it over the last 2 weeks, and full disclosure, I love it. The other thing I like about it is there's no SPF in here, which the Mineral Veil Primer does have. And I use a separate SPF on my face, so I don't really need a primer with SPF in it, but I didn't care because I love that primer so much anyway. So I love that I've got a non-SPF alternative with a still similar formula that I feel like keeps my makeup on longer and is just a beautiful, beautiful formula. Already I can see that I feel like my pores are definitely not as prominent, which is great. All right, my primer is nice and set. I've already put eyeshadow primer. I just used my Urban Decay Primer Potion, and we're gonna move on to foundation. I said before, I bought this a month or two ago, and I've been using it nonstop. It's the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. So this is like a serum foundation. I hate this applicator, but this is a gorgeous, gorgeous serum foundation. And what I like about it is that it does stay, it doesn't just slide all off my face. It can be worn with my combination oily skin. Again, it's messy. I don't like this application, but you know what? It's fine. And part of it may be just the way I apply it too. It's rare that I apply foundations with my fingers. I usually use a sponge or I use a brush. I just find, I wish this is messy, but you know what? The formula is good. It feels really nice on the skin. So I'll stop complaining about the packaging. All right, we're gonna use a brush for this. Like I said, you could absolutely use a sponge or your fingers if you want. Everyone's got their own preference. I find that this formula is amenable to all three techniques. So this is just kind of a light coverage. You can build it up to medium, but this was never meant to be, you know, a full coverage foundation or anything. But it just feels really nice on the skin. I always say that I have this red spot right on my cheek, and that's always a good indicator of how much coverage I'm gonna get from a foundation, if it covers that red spot or not. So I'm gonna put a little bit of a second layer on. I find that this foundation builds nicely just to get a little bit more coverage. And it's nice because I can do that without getting really cakey or anything like that. All right, so like I said, a nice light, maybe up to medium coverage, not too glowy. It just has a really nice skin finish to it. It's kind of like your skin, but better. All right, perfect. So next, I just grabbed my favorite concealer of 2021. This is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Concealer. There have been a bunch of concealers launched over the last month. I am trying to decide which one to try. AngieKBeauty just launched their Good Apple Concealer. I did not like that foundation, so I'm kind of going back and forth. I just did not feel it was meant for oily or combination skin. So I'm kind of going back and forth about purchasing that concealer. And then Benefit came out with a new brightening, their Boing Brightening Concealer. Again, I don't usually use brightening concealer, so I'm going back and forth about that one. And then lastly, LYS just came out with a concealer, and that's a brand I've wanted to try because it's a more affordable brand. It's Sephora. They launched last year, and I haven't tried any products from them. If you guys have a preference, let me know. If there's a specific concealer you want me to try out, let me know. I think I'm leaning towards the LYS. I think I might grab the LYS concealer and the foundation to try out. But if you have any ideas, if you want to see me review one of those other concealers, let me know. So I'm just going to go ahead and set my under eye. I'm going to use my number 7 Lift and Illuminate setting powder. I love this powder. It does not cake up. It works well under my eyes, and it also works well on my face. And there aren't that many powders I can actually use for both. Perfect. All right, next we're going to move on to cream products. I am obsessed with cream products. I figured this would be a great video to demonstrate some of my favorite ones. None of these are new. I just wanted to grab stuff that I love. So I grabbed my favorite cream bronzer, one of my favorite cream bronzers from last year. This is the ABH cream bronzer. You can see I am making a huge dent in this. I just love this. This formula is amazing. And I didn't think it was going to work for me because it's got that weird kind of yellowish color. And I thought it was going to be so orange on me. But you know what? It works, and it is just beautiful. I was so pleasantly surprised. I think that was the thing. This bronzer so surprised me. I also love the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Stick as well. And there were a few other. Tarte has a gorgeous cream bronzer and that Sea Breezy formula that came out last year that I love. e.l.f. has an amazing putty bronzer that I tried. I will link my top 5 cream bronzer video below that I think I did this summer or this fall. I will link that below for you. All right, now that I've put some warmth back into my face, moving on to my other cream product. I was trying to decide whether to use the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Blush, which I actually love, or the Glossier Cloud Paint. I don't think I've ever done this on camera, so I think I'm gonna reach for this. This is in the shade Puff. This is a very pretty baby doll pink. Now, if you've never used these Glossier Cloud Paints, a little goes a long way. So I just usually do like 3 or 4 dots. And you can use your fingers to do this, or you can use a brush. I am going to use my fingers. But you can see it just gives this really pretty, delicate pink flush of color. What I love about it is that you can blend it out and it doesn't blend away. You know, it doesn't just leave your face and you don't know what happened to it. I felt that I tried a few cream blushes last year that's exactly what happened. Like, I put them on my face and they were gone. I was like, what? Why did I bother putting this on? This also has quite good longevity as well. Put a little bit more on, especially on camera, because I think I'm putting a lot of blush on, and then when I look back at my videos, I'm like, oh, so real life and camera, very different. All right, I'm gonna use a powder highlight, so I'm gonna end up setting my face. Again, I'm just gonna use my number 7 Lift and Illuminate. If you're looking for a good drugstore powder, oh, this is so good. I love how this foundation is looking. It's just not super glowy or shiny. I'm not worried it's gonna slide off my face in an hour, which I find a lot of serum foundations. Oh, I tried a bunch of serum foundations last year and I had a few I just had no luck with. All right, on to highlight. I have been using this nonstop. If you saw my Tarte video, you know that I fell in love with this Tarte Glistening Light Rose Gold Glow. This is their new highlighter that they released with their Bloom Spring Collection. This is such a pretty highlight. I'm obsessed with it. I just cannot stop using it. It's got this tiny bit of pink to it, but it's not, you know, crazy. But it's just, it's like a glistening light, but not, you know, chunky or glittery. If you watch my channel, you know I hate really glittery highlights where it's just, you know, you're slapping glitter all over your face. It's just so, so pretty. So pretty. All right, moving on to eyeshadow. I am so excited about this. We're gonna be using the Natasha Denona Mini Crush eyeshadow palette. This is one of her 5-pan palettes. It is special edition. Unlike the Mini Biba palette that I tried a few weeks ago that I liked for the most part, there was just that one shade I didn't like. This is special edition, so I don't know how long we're gonna be able to get it, but it is supposed to be a companion. There's actually some of the same shades in here to the Love palette, which is a midi palette, which is one of her $65 palettes. This shade in the middle, the shade called Koi, is new, but I think the other shades are actually part of that midi Love palette. Now I've gone back and forth about that palette since it was launched, and I finally made the choice not to buy it, and I ended up buying the Mini Love palette, which I really, really enjoy. But this was different enough for me to pick up and still, because I feel like I can get different looks with this than I do with the Mini Love palette that I have. So we're gonna play around with this. We're gonna start with the shade Soul, which in my crease, which is this transition shade right here. I'm gonna just grab my BK Beauty. This is the 202. And we're just gonna put this all in my crease. Now this is a typical transition shade from Natasha Denona. It blends beautifully. You don't have to work at it. It just does exactly what it is supposed to do. I've been using this palette for probably the last week, and it's just been so nice because, you know, I tried out that e.l.f. Cookies and Dreams palette and I had so many issues with it. The eyeshadows were just chalky and patchy, and oh, I had to work so hard to get even a look that I felt like I could leave the house with. And then you move on and you grab one of these, and it's like you grab one of these Natasha Denona palettes, and it's such a breath of fresh air because it's just so much easier to use. All right, I'm gonna darken up that crease. We're gonna reach for this shade right here, which is called Lotus. Now this is definitely a pinkier shade. Figure I'd go for kind of a bold look, you know, it's Valentine's Day. All right, and then I'm gonna just take a little bit of fluffier brush. This is the BK Beauty 201, just to kind of blend out those edges so it's not so harsh. This is a really pretty pigmented shade, but it does blend really, really easily. I'm getting almost no fallout, which is just so nice. Oh, I love Natasha Denona eyeshadows, especially when they perform the way I expect them to. And this is definitely no different. I think this is gonna look really nice with the pink action shirt I got going on right now. Now I love, oh my gosh, this color, I love it. This is the color Koi. I'm gonna use this in my outer V and just kind of really create some depth there. So I'm gonna use, I've said this before, this is my favorite brush to use in my outer V. This is the Sigma Beauty E70 because it's got that angle on it. I don't know if you can see that. It's got that angle on it. it's just, do you see the difference? If you watch that e.l.f. video, when I put that in my outer V, that one color, it was like so patchy. And this I just placed, and there's just so much pigment there. I mean, I'm gonna have to obviously blend it out, but wow, what a difference. What a difference between the two formulas. And I don't mean to be like so hard on e.l.f. You know, I love so many other products, and I love those bite-sized eyeshadows. I think that's why I was so frustrated by that Cookies and Dreams palette, because I just had such high expectations and they were just crushed. That looks so pretty. You can see how it just kind of gives me a little bit more definition in that corner and that outer V. And I find, especially with, you know, as I've gotten older, I've gotten more of a hooded lid, especially on this side versus this side. I find that I've got uneven eyes. But it just makes, using a really nice pigmented, easy to blend out eyeshadow makes all the difference when you're dealing with some of the pitfalls of aging. Perfect. I kept going back and forth between these two, but since I'm in the pink today, I think I'm gonna reach for this pink shimmer shade called Claret. Now I always have to remember to use a smaller finger with Natasha Denona because she recommends you use her shimmer shades with a finger, and I have fat fingers, so I gotta use a smaller one. And I'm just gonna tap this right on my lid. Oh, this is so pretty. This is such a pretty shimmer. Oh my goodness. This makes me so happy. I'm just gonna blend it out a tiny bit, just so there's not a sharp delineation between my lid and my crease. And then I'm gonna do the other side. And then blend that side out as well. All right, and then I'm going back to that shade Soul just to do a little bit of a inner corner highlight. And then I think we use the shade Lotus to just smudge out my lower lid. And I'm just using a BK Beauty 204 to do that. And I don't bring it all the way in, but I want to make sure I connect so my eyes lift, my eye shape lifts up and not down, because I do have a little bit of a downturned eye. And then I just used my BK Beauty 207 just to kind of blend this a little bit, just so it wasn't such a stark contrast. All right, we're gonna do our brows and our mascara. I am gonna do my brows off camera just because no one needs to see that. But I wanted to use a new product. This is the Thick It Stick It eyebrow gel from NYX. I've been using this for the last few days. I really do like it. You know, I love eyebrow gels in general, so I had a feeling I would like this. The one thing I'm getting used to is that I find that the brush, the spoolie brush, is a little bigger than some of the eyebrow gels I've been using. If you've used the Charlotte Tilbury one where the brush is just tiny, and even like the Benefit Gimme Brow or the Glossier Boy Brow, the brushes are a little smaller. I do tend to make a little bit of a mess with this, but what I love about it is the shade is right on, and my eyebrows do not move, which is really, really nice. And it gives me a little bit of extra fibers where I don't have to use a pencil first. You know, it's funny, even up to about a year ago, I would make jokes that, oh, well, I can use just an eyebrow gel. I don't have to always use a pencil to fill in. And I think someone heard me, they overheard me. And I feel like the last few months I'm getting more and more sparse, especially right in the corners. And I find that this kind of does double duty almost. It gives me a nice look, but it also can fill in a little bit better than some of the brow gels that I use. So I'm back, my eyebrows are done, and I also curled my eyelashes and put on some mascara. I reached for an oldie but a goodie. I reached for the Milk Kush mascara. I pulled this out because Milk just launched a new mascara and I just ordered it. I should be getting it from Sephora in the next few days. But I wanted to go back to this mascara and try it out. It has been one of my favorites. It is definitely a wetter formula and it does take a little bit of getting used to. And I noticed that my tube is getting a little dried out. But before I repurchase this, I wanted to try the new Milk mascara and see what I think about it. And then finally moving on to lips, I figured we would just use kind of a shimmery gloss. This is the new NARS Lip Shine. I picked this up in the shade Unbroken, which has a little gold shimmer to it. It's not something I would wear every day, but I figure if we're pretending we're going out for Valentine's Day, why not? So I've heard really, really good things about this formula, but I've actually never tried it. It gives a little bit of pigment. Wow, it slides on so smooth, you guys. And I love the applicator. Wow, do I like that? You know, the shimmer is not crazy. It's not like, again, chunky glitter on my lips or anything. This feels moisturizing. It feels smooth. It doesn't feel too sticky. Wow. Okay. Why am I surprised? So many of NARS products I love. I feel like the brand just knows me and they just make some beautiful, beautiful products. So I don't know why I'm shocked by this. All right, you guys, I just took down my hair. It's, you know, kind of a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. It's all good. It is a makeup video after all. So here's the final look. I hope you had a great time with me doing just a fun get ready with me for, we'll say for Valentine's Day, but just in general. A quick recap of the new products that I tried out. Obviously this new Vanish Airbrush Primer from Hourglass. Love it. Not shocked by any of this. This is such a beautiful, beautiful product. So I'm going to continue to work with it and just make sure that there's not something about it from a longevity perspective that I don't like. I love the feel of it. I love how it blurs my pores. I recognize it's an expensive product, but man, is it good. So the Natasha Denona Mini Crush palette, I really enjoyed this. I loved that when you compare it to the Mini Love, there's enough difference in these two palettes where you could absolutely own both and still be able to do different looks with it. I love this new color Koi that they put in. This is just one of my favorite. It just gives so much depth. And this shimmer, this claret shimmer, this is outstanding. Just absolutely love it. The formula is very much what I would expect from Natasha Denona, so no big surprises here. The NYX Thick It Stick It, I really like this. I loved that it gave me what I love about an eyebrow gel, but with a little bit more fiber action, so I didn't have to touch up with a pencil. And I've noticed as I've gotten older, that's necessary with a lot of my eyebrow gels. I'm still working with the applicator just because it is a little bigger than what I've been using recently. I really like this. I'm going to keep using it. I will update you in my February favorites and fails. And then finally, the NARS Lip Shine. Beautiful. This is so nice. It's so hydrating. It is not sticky at all. It is not chunky. Gorgeous. So that's it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I enjoyed just chatting with you on this snowy Valentine's Day morning. I hope you stick around and watch some of my other videos and subscribe to my channel. Coming up, I'm going to be doing my third part in my 3-part series of 5 favorite products from 5 favorite brands. This time we're going to be doing our high end. If you haven't seen my other 2 installments, my drugstore version and my skincare version, I will link those videos down below. Until next time, you guys. Bye.